Days of Our Lives spoilers. Chanel and Alex's love scene derailed. Johnny Sabotages on-set intimacy. Days of Our Lives. DOOL. Spoilers reveal that Chanel DeMera, Raven Bowmans, and Johnny DeMera, Carson Boatman, will decide to take a little time for themselves. Johnny and Chanel have been doing plenty of work for body and soul lately, so they'll feel like they've earned a romantic break alone. Although Chanel and Johnny will enjoy having some sizzling privacy, there'll be the calm before the storm. Day spoilers say Johnny and Chanel have some drama coming up in their marriage thanks to Chanel's new co-star. DOOL viewers know Chanel isn't exactly thrilled about working with Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, but she's trying to be professional for the sake of the show. That means doing things like kissing Alex on set, which Johnny was visibly distressed about recently. Of course, Johnny doesn't want to seem jealous and insecure, so he's trying to hide his concerns and act cool about all this. Based on DOOL's weekly preview video, that's about to get a whole lot more difficult. There'll be a body and soul photo shoot that requires Alex and Chanel to be all over each other, so that'll leave Johnny fuming. The camera will love Chanel and Alex together, but Johnny will feel like he has to pump the brakes, especially when it comes to the simulated passion of their first love scene. During the week of September 23 to 27, day spoilers say Chanel will get updates on some very intimate material that's coming up. Chanel will be uncomfortable and a little nervous, but she'll know it's just part of the job. Alex wouldn't be Chanel's first choice for a love scene partner, but she may decide it won't be so bad after all. Now that Chanel and Alex will be spending more time together, the conflict should fade and help them reconnect as friends. However, there will be a problem when Johnny goes behind Chanel's back and demands that Leo Stark, Greg Reichardt, change what he's written. Johnny will push for a new version of the script, so he'll obviously want to take the love scene out or at least tone it way down. Day spoilers say Chanel will unleash her wrath once she discovers Johnny's actions, so our predictions point to her pushing him to back off and let her work. This behind-the-scenes manipulation will be embarrassing and totally uncalled for as far as Chanel's concerned. Unfortunately, Johnny will disagree and act like he has to protect his marriage since Chanel's chemistry with Alex is so intense. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Johnny's territorial side will be a turnoff and could lead to bad news in his relationship with Chanel, so stay tuned. The studio buzzed with anticipation, lights glowing and cameras prepped for action. Chanel Dupree's heart beat in rhythm with the soft hum of the set. Today was a big day, a crucial love scene between her and Alex Kyriakis. There had been whispers about this scene for weeks. It wasn't just another passionate embrace for viewers of Days of Our Lives. No, this one held an electric charge, fueled by the simmering chemistry between Chanel and Alex, a pairing no one saw coming but suddenly couldn't look away from. As Chanel adjusted her robe, she caught her reflection in the dressing room mirror. Nervous excitement fluttered in her stomach, and she smiled softly at herself. "You've got this," she whispered. There had been a lot of tension lately, both on and off the screen. Johnny DeMera, her ex, and still somewhat of an emotional whirlwind, had been giving her sideways glances whenever Alex was around. But Chanel had to stay focused. This was her moment. An intimate, career-defining scene that would undoubtedly send fans into a frenzy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the studio, Alex leaned against the wall, running his lines over in his head. He had played Kyriakis' hair with charm and swagger, but there was something more between Alex and Chanel, an undercurrent that he knew was about to reach its peak. His smile was easygoing, but beneath the cool exterior, he felt the tension too. The camera lights, the pressure to nail every line, every look, every touch. This was the scene that could push his character to the center of Salem's hottest stories. What neither Alex nor Chanel knew was that Johnny had plans of his own. Johnny DeMera had been lurking, watching from the shadows for days. He couldn't stand seeing Chanel and Alex together, even if it was just acting. Something about their chemistry on set made his blood boil. It wasn't that he wanted Chanel back. Well, maybe a small part of him did, but it was the idea of someone else stepping into that space, a space that had once been his. It wasn't long ago that he and Chanel had shared their own steamy moments, both in front of the camera and behind it. And now, watching her with Alex, well, it just didn't sit right with him. His heart raced, hands fidgeting with the script, eyes narrowing in on the studio door where the scene was about to take place. In Johnny's mind, there was only one solution: sabotage. He hadn't planned to interfere until the very last second. As the director called everyone into place and the lights dimmed for the intimate love scene, Johnny quietly slipped out from the shadows and into the control room. He knew the layout of the set better than anyone, having spent years working on his own projects. With a mischievous grin, he eyed the controls and pulled out his phone. A quick text to the sound engineer, a subtle nudge to the camera operator, and just like that, he had a plan. He wasn't going to stop the scene outright, no. He was going to ruin it from within. The director's voice echoed through the studio, quiet on set, and action. Chanel and Alex found themselves in each other's arms. Their faces inches apart, the tension between their characters palpable. As the camera zoomed in, Chanel felt the world around her blur, her focus narrowing in on Alex. She could hear her own breathing, feel the warmth of his hand against her skin. It was perfect, until it wasn't. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Not enough to halt production, but enough to break the mood. Chanel paused, momentarily thrown off, but the director didn't call cut, so she pushed on, trying to recapture the magic of the moment. But Johnny wasn't done. The next disruption came from the sound system. Just as Alex leaned in for what was supposed to be the pivotal kiss, a loud, high-pitched screech pierced the set. Everyone jumped. The romantic atmosphere shattered. Chanel pulled back, her brow furrowed in confusion. Alex, looking equally thrown, glanced up at the lights and then at the sound booth. The director cursed under his breath, waving his hands to cut the scene. What the hell was that? In the control room, Johnny stifled a laugh, hiding behind a monitor as the crew scrambled to fix the technical difficulties. He wasn't finished yet. This scene wasn't going to happen if he had anything to say about it. Back on set, the mood had shifted. Chanel felt a gnawing irritation bubbling beneath her surface. She glanced around, trying to shake off the odd energy, but something felt wrong. The chemistry that had been building between her and Alex was evaporating. She could feel it. A spark of doubt crept into her mind. Was this a sign? Alex, sensing her unease, gave her a reassuring smile. "We've got this, just a little hiccup." But even as the crew reset the lights and fixed the sound, Chanel's thoughts wandered. Was Johnny involved in this? She wouldn't put it past him. He had that glint in his eye lately, the one that said he wasn't done with her story. She had moved on, or at least she thought she had. But Johnny, he always had a way of lingering. The director's voice broke through her thoughts. "All right, let's go again from the top." Chanel and Alex took their positions once more. This time, she tried to push all distractions aside, focusing entirely on the moment, on the scene, on Alex. But just as the cameras rolled again, and they were back in each other's arms, a crash echoed from the back of the set. One of the props, a large decorative vase, had mysteriously toppled over, smashing into pieces. "Cut." The director's voice was sharp, frustration clear. "What the hell is going on today?" In the corner of the studio, hidden behind a curtain, Johnny smirked. It wasn't a masterpiece of sabotage, but it was enough. He had derailed the scene, broken the tension, and ensured that whatever magic Chanel and Alex had been building was now fractured. He could see the irritation on their faces, the director's growing impatience. This love scene, at least for today, was not going to happen. And that was all Johnny needed.